Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu announces that the government will ban certain social media platforms from being accessed by children younger than 16. Ahmad Salim, the Member of Parliament for Edafushi, is elected as the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament. The Parliamentary Foreign Relations Committee unanimously approves the appointment of two experienced former cabinet members as Maldives' ambassadors to key Gulf states.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu conveys condolences to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan following a fatal bus accident in western Turkey that claimed 8 lives and left several others injured. In a message addressed to President Erdogan, President Muizzu expressed profound sadness over the tragedy which occurred earlier on Monday when a passenger bus crashed and subsequently caught fire. The accident resulted in the deaths of 8 people, while many others sustained injuries and were taken for medical treatment. On behalf of the government and people of the Maldives, President Muizzu extended his heartfelt sympathies to the families of those who lost their lives, as well as to the government and people of Turkey. He said the thoughts and prayers of the Maldivian people were with the bereaved families during this difficult time and wished them strength and patience as they mourned their loss. President Muizzu also expressed his hopes for the swift recovery of those injured in the accident. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu announces that the government will ban certain social media platforms from being accessed by children younger than 16, a move aimed at shielding youths from cyberbullying, online grooming, and other digital threats.
Speaking at the weekly press conference, President Muizzu underscored that the island nation, a small society anchored in Islamic principles, must give special priority to tackling social problems that affect its youngest citizens. The president highlighted the growing vulnerability of children to the dangers of social media, pointing to rising cases of cyberbullying and online child grooming. He stressed that safeguarding children from such threats is an essential task for state agencies, NGOs, and general public. The proposed ban will therefore target specific applications deemed most risky, with the government planning to work closely with the platform's international owners to modify their services to comply with Maldivian law. The policy will be formulated in consultation with the relevant tech companies, mirroring Australia's current age verification regime, and will require amendments to the country's existing cyber safety legislation. President Muizzu assured that the restriction will not impede children's educational progress or their ability to learn new skills online. Rather, it is intended to create a safer digital environment while still allowing constructive internet use. The government aims to finalize the regulatory framework and launch the ban within the next year after a period of public consultation and feedback.
In a significant development that blends the nation's sporting traditions with Islamic principles, President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu announces government plans to establish prayer facilities within sports venues throughout the Maldives.
Speaking at the weekly press conference, President Muizzu emphasized that the people of Maldives faithfully follow the principles of Islam and the Constitution in every aspect of their lives. He acknowledged that while sports activities have long been a part of Maldivian culture, the timing of prayers have sometimes created challenges for athletes and sports enthusiasts. The government plans to construct dedicated prayer facilities, including modern amenities such as ablution areas within sports complexes, currently under development and at various sporting locations across the country. These facilities will be established in partnership with the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Sports and Fitness. To address timing concerns, the President announced that all sports activity will be suspended for around 20 minutes from the call to prayer. He added, The ministry will be responsible for implementing these arrangements and ensuring that appropriate spaces are designated for praying during designated times at all sporting facilities.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz announces that the current restrictions on foreign transactions using Bank of Maldives or BML cards will be relaxed by the end of this month, offering relief to many citizens who have faced limitations when conducting international online purchases.
Speaking at the weekly press conference held at the President's office, the President revealed that his administration had engaged with BML management to address the dollar shortage issue. The bank had imposed strict limits on Rufiyaa card transactions for overseas e-commerce and online retail sites due to reduced foreign exchange availability, circumstances attributed to the prevailing conflict in the Middle East. According to a bank spokesperson, BML was previously selling $1.33 million daily to facilitate such transactions. Under the current policy, the bank sells dollars within a fixed daily budget, meaning some retail sites may be unable to conduct businesses on certain days. However, card issued for dollar accounts remain available for unlimited transactions, the bank confirmed. BML has also guaranteed that the changes had not affected the limits provided to students studying abroad. Additionally, the bank has offered a 3-month grace period for students using their parents' card to obtain their own student cards. The bank emphasized that these measures were implemented to preserve foreign exchange reserves for essential needs while expressing commitment to gradually relax restrictions on Rufiyaa card transactions as dollar availability improves.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz affirms that neither he nor any member of his family has ever spent a single penny of state funds for personal or private travel since he assumed office. Responding to a journalist's question about reports that the president travels at government expense, President Muiz refuted the allegations as baseless. He added that while the presidency confers certain privileges, including the option to use official facilities, his trips have been entirely self-financed. The president also clarified that on occasional vacations, he has taken along a printer and scanner from the president's office for official duties, not for personal enjoyment. He noted that previous administrations sometimes billed the presidency for such travel, but he has chosen a different approach. To underscore his commitment to fiscal restraint, President Muiz, immediately after taking office, announced the decision to travel on business class rather than first class on official trips. Ahmad Salim, the Member of Parliament for Edafushi, is elected as the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, securing the position through a secret ballot over his competitor, Hussein Ziad, the Member of Vakaradu.
The leadership contest concluded with Salim capturing 62 votes, decisively overtaking Ziad, who received 10 votes according to the official tally. A total of 74 members participated in the legislative vote, with 2 ballots ultimately deemed invalid. Salim's election establishes him as the second deputy speaker to serve during the current 20th session of the parliament. The election of a new deputy speaker was necessitated after Ahmad Nazim, the member of Diggaru, abruptly resigned. Nazim stepped down from the role just as the parliament had decided to advance proceedings for a motion to officially remove him from his post. To oversee the electoral proceedings, the parliament formed a dedicated 5-member committee, an initiative proposed by Ibrahim Falah, the member for Inguradu, and approved with the backing of 65 present members. Maintaining institutional clarity and oversight, the special committee was composed by Husni Mubarak, the member for Manadu, Ibrahim Shujao, the member for Barashu, Dr. Anara Naim, the member for Hura, Ibrahim Nazir, the member for South Hitadu, and Abdul Hanan Abu Bakr, the member for Tuladu. A seasoned legislator, Salim was first elected to the parliament in 2009. Following his initial term, he successfully secured re-election in 2014, 2019 and most recently in 2024, currently representing the ruling People's National Congress or PNC during the ongoing 20th parliamentary session.
The Parliamentary Foreign Relations Committee unanimously approves the appointment of two experienced former cabinet ministers as Maldives ambassadors to key Gulf states.
The committee endorsed Tariq Ibrahim as the next ambassador to the United Arab Emirates and Adam Sharif Umar as ambassador to Qatar, both of whom were nominated by President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu to fill critical diplomatic positions in the region's most strategically important capitals. The meeting, attended by 6 committee members, saw Kurdufushi North MP Mohammad Dawood lead the discussion regarding the qualification of the two nominees. During the proceeding, Parliamentarian Dawood emphasized the exceptional educational backgrounds and extensive professional experience that both candidates bring to diplomatic service. Given these credentials, he proposed that the committee approve the nominations without requiring additional interviews, a motion that received immediate support from all representatives present. Tariq's diplomatic nomination comes following his recent tenure as Minister of Climate Change and Environment Energy in the current administration. His government service extends well beyond this role, having accumulated substantial experience through various ministerial and senior leadership positions across multiple previous governments. Adam Sharif Umar similarly brings a wealth of governmental expertise to his ambassadorial role in Qatar. His portfolio included serving as Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works, though his experience extends further back through successive administration. The committee's endorsement marks a significant step in the formal appointment process, though additional parliamentary procedures remain before the ambassadors can assume their post officially. The committee is expected to submit its comprehensive report to the full parliament, where the appointments will undergo debate and subsequent voting.
Saida Umar, Managing Director of the Maldives Innovation and Digital Company, or MINDCO, states that the quality of public services will be improved and strengthened through a decentralized system under the Maldives 2.0.
Speaking on Trade Desk with Anna, a podcast hosted by the Ministry of Economic Development, Transport and Trade, Saida detailed the expansive ambitions of the 3-year administration-led National Digitalization Policy. A decentralized system tailored to the island nation's unique geography will streamline civic service delivery, allowing individuals to access services from any location they choose, seamlessly executing their desired tasks and navigating essential digital workflows within a fully integrated environment. Consequently, Saida noted public offerings will become highly personalized, functioning as tailored offerings designed specifically for each individual. The initiative is also projected to transform the professional landscape, making it substantially easier for the workforce to balance professional environments and personal lives. Designed to unite state institutions, cultivate a smarter government, accelerate service delivery, and eradicate corruption through transparent, technology-driven operations, work on the project is already underway. Bureaucratic systems will be fundamentally redesigned to replace physical and digital queues, with services accessible in a few clicks, ensuring citizens experience a cohesive, seamlessly interconnected network rather than disparate civic frameworks.
Personnel from the Maldives National Defense Force, including units from the Special Forces, the Special Operations Group, the Special Boat Squadron, and the Marine Corps, concludes their participation in a multinational military exercise in northeast India aimed at reinforcing security ties across the Indian Ocean region. The joint maneuvers, formally termed the Partnership of Regional Armies for Growth and Transformation in the Indian Ocean region, or Exercise Pragati 2026, were conducted from the 18th to the 31st of May at the Umroi military station in Meghalaya, India. According to the stated objectives, the training focused on enhancing cooperation in counterterrorism operations and peacekeeping efforts, whilst seeking to reinforce broader regional security within the Indian Ocean. The operational drills involved a total deployment of more than 400 soldiers representing 13 different nations. Comprising this international coalition, alongside the armed forces of the Maldives, were military contingents from India, Bhutan, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, the Philippines, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam. The training program was brought to a close with a 72-hour validation exercise, which successfully demonstrated the capacity for joint operations among the participating allied countries. Insights into business, the Dutch airline KLM says that they have cancelled flights to and from Entebbe Airport near the Ugandan capital Kampala due to restrictions linked to an Ebola outbreak in Central Africa.
KLM said that while the area was not currently seen as an active risk zone, it could no longer operate planned routes due to travel and entry measures some countries have introduced for people who recently traveled through Entebbe, including its crew. As of May 30, 263 confirmed Ebola cases have been reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. The Director General of the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Jean Kaseya, said more than 1,100 suspected cases are being investigated and 43 people are confirmed to have died as a result of the rare strain of Ebola, Kaseya said in a Financial Times op-ed.
Updates on world events. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghei says U.S. strikes on Iranian targets show misconduct and bad faith.
Baghei said the actions violated the ceasefire and entitled Iran to take defensive measures. The U.S. said it struck Iranian military sites at the weekend, and Iran's Revolutionary Guard said it had targeted a U.S. base in response, the latest in a series of exchanges amid negotiations to end the 3-month-old war. The U.S. Central Command said in a post on X that the strikes on Iran's Gulf Coast were in response to aggressive Iranian actions that included the shutdown of a U.S. MQ-1 drone that was operating over international waters. The U.S. and Iran have sporadically exchanged strikes since their ceasefire took effect in early April as negotiations aimed at a more durable agreement drag on. A similar exchange occurred last Thursday and was described in similar terms by both sides.
Moving on to sports, the United States earns an encouraging 3-2 win over Senegal in a World Cup warm-up friendly, with Christian Pulisic scoring 1 goal and creating another before Folarin Balogun struck the second-half winner.
Serginho Dest put the host ahead after 7 minutes, stepping in Pulisic's cross from the left, before Pulisic doubled the advantage in the 20th minute with a composed finish from a tight angle after rounding the goalkeeper.
Yes, I think it was positive to finish after 90 minutes in a good form. I think with the possibility to nearly the whole roster playing, having minutes. I think it's too many positive things that we need to improve. Obvious things that we need to improve, but I think happy to finish the first week and training and competing against a really good team like Senegal.
Senegal reduced the deficit just before halftime through captain Sadio Mane, who finished off a quick counter-attack after Habib Diarra's through ball split the American backline. Balogun had a goal ruled out for offside early in the second half before Mane capitalized on a defensive error to equalize in the 52nd minute. The AS Monaco striker made no mistake just past the hour mark, however, meeting Tim Weah's cross to restore the lead and seal victory for Mauricio Pochettino's side. The United States, who will co-host the World Cup alongside Canada and Mexico, have one more warm-up game against Germany on Saturday before opening their Group D campaign against Paraguay on June 12th. Senegal will play their first Group 1 match against France on June 16th and will also face Iraq and Norway.
Concluding with news and entertainment, thousands of football fans packed the pitch at Santiago's Bicentenario Stadium for Chile's biggest World Cup sticker swap event, trading Panini album stickers ahead of the 2026 tournament.
The event, known as the Cambiathon or swap, saw collectors of all ages spread across the pitch, laying out stickers on tables and hunting down the missing players needed to complete their album. The event was attended not only by Chileans, Argentine fans also turned out in force, hoping history would repeat itself. An Argentine citizen, Pablo Noyano, said that they were superstitious and that in the 2022 World Cup, which Argentina won, they had filled the album.
And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.